This is Laura Duncan with CSMS. Today we're going to be solving quadratic equations by factoring. If we have 8 times something equals 0, or something times a equals 0, then we must know one of those two things is equal to 0. So either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. That knowledge is going to help us solve quadratic equations. Looking at number 1, there's two factors, two things that are being multiplied. One is this, x, and the other is x minus 2. They're being multiplied to get a solution of 0. That 0 is very important. Well, we're going to set each solution, each factor up equal to 0. So the first factor is x is equal to 0. That's one of our solutions. The next one is x minus 2 equals 0. Well, that's not a solution yet, but once we solve it like an equation isolating the x, we get our second solution, x equals 2. So those are our two solutions for number 1. For number 2, let's look at the factors. One factor is x minus 3. The other factor is x plus 4. So x minus 3 is equal to 0. X plus 4 is equal to 0. Then you simply solve, isolating the variable to get your solutions. Remember to show all this beautiful work. So our two solutions here is x equals 3, x equals negative 4. Let's go on to number 3. The two factors are 2n minus 4, and we'll set that equal to 0. One of these must be equal to 0. 3n plus 5 equals 0. Now simply solve, isolating the variable. Pause the video here and continue solving. Our two solutions for number 3, n equals 2, n equals negative 5/3. Now look at number 4. How is it different? Well, it's not factored yet. So first we're going to have to factor. Remember that the sum is negative x and the product is negative 56x. Well, that would lead us to 7x and negative 8x. So once we factor that, we have 2x squared plus 7x and negative 8x minus 28. We can factor out an x for the first one and a 4 they have in common, negative 4 for the second one. And now we have our factors. X minus 4 times 2x plus 7 equals 0. Now that we have our two factors, we can find the solutions by putting them each equal to 0. Pause the video here while you do that. Now we have our two solutions, x equals 4, x equals negative 7/2. Now let's turn our attention to number 5. How is it different? Well, it doesn't have a solution equal to 0. So we need to get everything on one side so that we can solve. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to subtract 24 and add 5a. Once you do this, these will cancel out and you'll be left with 0. And now we have something that we can factor. I'm going to rearrange it so that it's in standard form. Now the second thing we need to do is factor. Since it has a coefficient of 1, that should be pretty simple to do. We know that 8 and 3 will give us a solution of 5. But it's going to be 8 plus 8, a plus 8, and a minus 3 to give us that solution. Now let's take those factors, each one, and set them equal to 0. Now we can solve and we have a equals negative 8 and a equals 3. Please box your answers and show all your lovely work. Now let's look at number 6. On number 6, notice what's different. Oh, that could be a hint to how many solutions we'll have. Well, this is already equal to 0. So what we'll do now is we'll factor it. Since the coefficient is 1, that'll make our job easier. So we'll have y squared minus 9 times y squared minus 1. Well, we're not done factoring because y squared minus 9 is a difference of perfect square. That would be y minus 3 and y plus 3. Again, another perfect square, a difference of perfect square. So we'll have y minus 1 and y plus 1. All of those will be set equal to 0. So let's take the first one. Y minus 3 equals 0. Please solve for your y. So one of the solutions is y equals 3. The next one, y plus 3 equals 0. Solve for y by doing the opposite. So one of our solutions is y equals negative 3. Now we'll add one to isolate the y and get another solution. And finally, y plus 1 equals 0. We'll subtract 1 from each side, so y will be equal to negative 1. Sometimes the exponent gives us a clue to how many solutions we will have, but that is not always the case, so do be aware of that. Let's look at number 7. On number 7, it looks like we have 2 factors, but here's a problem. Those factors are not set equal to 0. Since they're not set equal to 0, we're going to have to FOIL this and then isolate it so that it's equal to 0. So let's use the FOIL method. X times x is x squared plus 3 times x. And then negative 1 times x would be negative x. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And that's all equal to 12. We'll combine our like terms here. So x squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 12. We need to make this equal to 0, so we are going to do that by subtracting 12 from each side so that this side is equal to 0 so that we can find our solutions. So we have x squared plus 2x minus 15. Now we factor it. Since it's a coefficient of 1, that should make our job a little bit easier, because 5 times 3, if the 3 is negative, will equal positive 2. So we'll have x plus 5 and we'll set that equal to 0. Now we'll find the solutions by taking each factor and putting it equal to 0. We'll solve by isolating the x, and that's one solution, and our second solution. Now finally, let's look at an application problem. The area of a rectangle room is given by the equation w squared minus 7w equals 18, where w is the width of the room. Find the width. This may not seem like it's associated with what we've been doing today, but it is, because area is equal to length times width, which are two factors. So to find the solutions, we'll do the same procedure. We're going to subtract 18 from both sides so that we can get this equal to 0. That's our goal. Once we do that, we can factor this side of the equation. So when we factor this, we have a w, and what two factors will have a sum of negative 7? 9 and 2, and then 9 would be negative. Now that we have those, we set each one equal to 0 and then solve. So w equals negative 2, and w equals 9. However, this doesn't really make sense. How can the width be negative 2 and 9? Well, one of them obviously must be incorrect. So which one is correct? Well, think about distance or measurement. Can the measurement be a negative number? No, it cannot. So that means the width of the room is 9. That concludes your lesson for today.